Good. Today's still Monday, but
Right.
we've got so much going on here. So it's good Monday morning,
Here.
and it's also good Monday evening. And I will explain. As you guys just saw, our brand new, awesome, incredible intro. Compliments of an amazing producer over at Talking Trash Podcast, Tim Snyder, who is just incredible with his talent, with his the uh the effects and everything that he does with the show. I expect, with Talking Trash, with the effects that he's got going on and the cameras and the angles and everything, he still has time to help out so many people. So Tim Snyder, thank you so much for our show. And there's the Bill Stacks popping on. But the reason I said good morning, good evening is myself, as of course, Manny Vitale, host of My Fight Our War, co-host of Music and Mayhem with Skylar Ray. And now I am so just absolutely honored and proud to say co-host of my Brother's Keeper of Bikers podcast. And I have the fortune and blessing to be with the one and only Thomas Guffi Vestergaard, who is from Denmark. And currently, he is not in Denmark. He is in Thailand. He is in Bangkok right now. The man is in demand all over the world. And so it's an honor to have him not only as a co-host, but as my brother, man. We met through Bill Stacks. Thank you, chatting with Stacks. Check him out as well. And I hit up Thomas and just to come on the show. One thing led to another. And next thing you know, here we are. And the rest of the story has to be told together. So here he is, the one and only Thomas Guffi Vestergaard, my brother.
Hello, brother.
Oh man, this is so
surreal.
This is, and as soon as I looked up, I don't know if you can see the comments on your end. Right off the bat,
Nope.
Who do you see? Bill Stacks. Yo, what's good,
Awesome.
guys? I'm glad to see you guys doing your thing. And that's from my brother Bill Stacks over in Bristol, Connecticut. So please check out Chatting with Stacks.
It's actually his fault. So we need to.
Yep. You know what? When we start getting all these nominations for the award-winning My Brother's Keeper Bikers podcast, we'll give him a shout out. And if something happens, this thing just blows up, it's Bill's fault.
Yeah.
But,
he did this.
You know what, Thomas, man, I'm just going to give a real quick overview of how this whole circle of me, you, Bill, all happened and how we got to this point. Is everyone knows Thomas from his platform, A Sensitive Biker. I mean, I've been following you for so long now, and now all of a sudden here we are doing the show together. So I've always followed you and loved what you do. And all of a sudden I look up one day and I see you on Stacks' show. So I reach out to Stacks. I'm like, listen, I've been following Thomas and back and forth. Next thing you know, we connect. And I just wanted to have Thomas on as a guest. And as soon as we started talking, you were extremely humble and you, yeah, man, let's do it. But we ended up talking for a little bit longer. And after we hung up, I was just like, man, that was just, it felt like a connection more though than just doing a interview. So that night, which is like a 12-hour difference, I sent him, I didn't want to call. So I sent Thomas a nice long message saying,
I like you say along because it was a half Bible.
It was probably more than that, but it was, man, because I was trying to get everything in there. And I sent it to Thomas, basically saying, I got an idea. I'd love to do a show with you. And the next day we connected and, he's like, yeah, I've been following you too. And lo and behold, I get but I've already been approached to do a show with someone else. And I was like, shit. So, you know what? I'll let you take it from there, man, because that's you for the rest of the story. So take her away.
Yeah, I did actually get another offer from someone, but I didn't really feel it. For me, it needs to have heart, because I'm not doing this for the likes or attention or money or anything. I'm doing this because I have to. This is what keeps me alive, helping other people. That what makes my past worth living. Because if I can't use all my past experience for something positive and help other people, it's too hard for me to live with. So I have to do this. I have to do the 12 step every day, helping others. And when you, I remember when you started following me on Facebook, I got a friend request from you, and I said, no, I seen this guy. I seen some videos with him somewhere, and I started following your profile, and you put a lot of videos up like I do. So I said, no, this is nice, and I like the way you do things. I can feel you have your heart in it and everything, and this is awesome. And when we talked, and I don't remember if we agreed on a date for the show. We just agreed that I was going on your show. And then I get this Bible quote from you. It's many pages long. I'm just scrolling on your message. And it seems like you were interested in having me not just on your show, but you felt that you wanted me, maybe we could do something together, a podcast or something. And I thought, yeah, that sounds pretty good. And when we talked the day after, and I like you just said, that I told you I had another offer, and I could hear the disappointment in the silence in the phone. I said, but I rather do it with you, because after just seeing you in a short while, some of your videos, your enthusiasm, and the way you do stuff, I think that you put your heart and soul in it, and I want to be a part of that as well. And if I have to work with someone, I want a person like you that does it for the right reasons as I do. So, and I don't. I try to talk more. I don't talk as much on my videos as you do.
I don't know many people that do.
but maybe you can learn to talk less, and I can learn to talk more.
Hey, it's give and take, win-win situation.
Oh, that's funny.
So it will be good. I think we complement each other really good, and we have that connection. You know, when you meet up, like sometimes when you meet a person for the first time and you just see it in the other person's eyes, we're gonna be friends, and we have some of the same history, and that's just what happened with us. That was when we talked together the first time. There was no going back. This is what's gonna happen. So
yeah,
here we are.
It was just meant to be, and the enthusiasm. Sometimes, when you do shows and you're trying to get guests to come on, it's just like, it gets to be a little bit almost like blowing smoke up their ass. Oh yeah, just to try to create that whatever. But there was no bullshit. When me and you were talking, it was just straight, to the point. And I mean, the things that you were saying are literally things that I say all the time. Is you'll see people coming on here, and all you hear about is views and this and send and stars and likes, and it's just like 10 minutes into the show, and for the last 8 minutes, it's all been talking about is that. And I get it. This is a business too. It is, and of course, where we are now compared to where we are going to be, it is going to be a business to the point where we have to make decisions as a business. I get it, but to make the sole purpose on, I'm going to base on our show on, if I take this topic, will I get a lot of likes for it? Or if I get this topic, am I going to impact more lives. It's like I'd rather impact 10 people's lives than get 10,000 likes. Screw that. So when you said that, Thomas, I was right there with you. And yeah, it's actually funny because while you were talking, I was scrolling down and I found the message that I sent, and I was going to turn around and show it. I was like, it just kept scrolling. So, but yeah, I mean, the thing too is with our backgrounds, like you said, is we have so much that when you're doing a show like this, and especially the biker world, a lot of people try to bullshit their way through stuff. And if you do that in the world in the biker world, man, it could get your ass killed. That plain and simple. And no joking, no games. Some people, be sitting there watching Sons of Anarchy, and next thing you know, I'm at the bar hearing these guys talking about these badass things that they did. And I go, dude, that was episode 2 of Sons of Anarchy that you just said. It's like they're not even your stories. But like for us being able to relate to a lot of things, the pressure, the violence, the drugs, and we know we've been there, done that. So, but yeah, it's definitely a good fit, and it's just going to be a hell of a ride. And it's just every show we're going to impact people. And just going through here real quick right now, we've got, like I said, Bill jumped right on Stacks and Vincent and Donald and Danny Gibson, Jacqueline,
Kevin Herbert.
And it's Kevin Herbert. These are all people that are just amazing with their own stories as well that we'll be able to chat with. But Thomas, you're currently still in Thailand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been dealing with these time changes because it's
been fucked
12.
up because it's 11 hours difference. So it's been a little hard to figure out when, what, and where. But it will be a little easier when I get back to Denmark. Then it's only 6 hours. Yeah, but so far we haven't made any big mistakes, and we are still on now. So
the show's not over yet, man. Believe me, we got plenty of time. But it's just like with some of the stuff, you with your history in the biker world, man. Going from, and the thing is, we're still bikers. People think, well, you're sober now. Okay, so you don't ride. It's part of my life. It's just we don't do some of the same things. With everything you've got going on, people see your vest. They see, that people that understand what certain things mean. Why don't you give like a little bit of background? I mean, your story's so incredible, man. I don't even know where to start, because if we, and we are going to be touching on it because people need to know. So, this should be a lot of it about you is what you went through, man, at such a young age. And I know we touched on it a little bit, but this is our first show together. So, I mean, if it's okay with you, man, you want to jump into the younger years that kind of got you to where you are now? I mean, I know there's a lot in between, but those younger years that we talked about earlier that our amazing guests or our family out there doesn't know about you.
Yeah, I guess we both need to tell a little bit about ourselves.
Yeah.
Now that we are doing this together, I can do the short version. My father was a drunken alcoholic. He beat my mother and me and my brother. I got 2 smaller sisters later. But when I was about 12 years old, I was shooting semi-automatic rifles at beer cans in the backyard because my father was selling weapons to skinheads and bikers when I was a child. And when I was 14, I got my first motorcycle. When I was 15, I got ulcer because of drinking the first time. And when I was 16, I was tortured by 3 adult males and left for dead in a barn. And that, of course, gave me some trust issues. I thought these people were my best friends. So that kind of led me to a circle of hate and disgust. And I became a Nazi for 16 years, most of all because I hated myself, but I couldn't live with that. So it was easier to hate everybody that was different than me, things I didn't understand, people I was afraid of. And with that lifestyle, I didn't have to take accountability to anything or anyone. I could just blame everybody else for my bad fortune. And I didn't have to change because it was their fault. So I could just do what the heck I wanted. And I did. And also when I got older, I still have problems because I have an addicted personality. So I have problems with everything that can change my attitude and give me dopamine. I've been addicted to sex, drugs, porn addiction, games, computer games, internet, you name it. I even at one point worked out with heavy weights so much that I have a permanent scars on my spine, and I have problems with my knees. That is partly also because of the torture, but we will talk about that in a later episode. But everything that could kind of change my mood. Also, sugar. I was addicted to Coca-Cola. I drank 6 liters a day at one point. So I was shaking like in the morning like it was alcohol before I got my first half liter of Coca-Cola in me. So everything for me can become an addiction if it can give me dopamine on some level. And at some point, it became too much. It ruined my life. And as an addict, you only change when there is a consequence for your actions. Because if there's no consequence, there's no need to change. But when life gets fucked up, and I have so many broken relationships and friends I lost, and jobs, everything was just fucked up. So I could either take my own life or I could make a change. So I made a change, and today I hold lectures. I had held over 300 lectures. I wrote 3 books. I'm writing on 3 more. Some of them are getting translated as we speak into English, of course. And I started this. It started as a motorcycle club. Now it's a motorcycle fellowship, and it's called Corsa Nation. Corsa stands for Knights of St. Anthony. It's a spiritual fellowship based on the principles of the 12-step program. And most of our members are former addicts, former gang members, and soldiers with PTSD. And currently, we are Europe's largest clean and sober motorcycle fellowship. I started it with 4 other guys in my kitchen 10 years ago, last year. So we are going strong, and we grow very fast. And I have a pension because of PTSD, but doing this, sharing my life with others, and having this family, which is I keep saying club because that's what we started at, but it is a fellowship. That kind of, I work more now than I did when I was well, but I if I have a hard day, I can just shut off my phone and go to bed. If I have a 9 to 5, I can't do that. So that's why I'm able to do things like this. And it actually gives me a reason to carry on.
Man, I tell you what, I mean, just there is so much there. Because I did, I had the privilege of obviously getting to know all these, not all, but a lot of stuff that you talked about. Because right now, people are going, wait a minute, at 8 years old, automatic weapons, selling to the skinheads at 12 years old, and then wait a minute, 14 also from drinking already, and then all of a sudden at 16, the big one, tortured by adults
friends.
that were supposedly friends. And it's just when we went into the detail of what you went through in that fucking barn, man, the fact that you're alive is a testament to your physical and spiritual and emotional toughness, man. Because most people
Well, I
would not.
think, yeah, but I think I thought I was gonna die, so I think that in some kind of weird way, it was natural that I chose the path of hate as I did, because I trusted these people, and I thought I was gonna die. I thought I did die when I woke up on the floor, covered in my own blood. So in some kind of weird way, I think that was the natural way for me to go, to become a Nazi, and because I needed to get out with those feelings in some way. And hate is a very powerful feeling. And all my childhood, I was a victim. I was a child. I was a victim of my father's abuse. I was bullied at school and all these things. And I couldn't have that personality on me. It didn't work. I had to get that anger out. It was much easier to be hateful and angry than it was being a victim. And all the violence that had been put on me, I needed to put it on others. I couldn't carry it. So I became violent because of what was done to me. And it's sad, but I see it in so many other people. That's the natural way of things. It just happens that way.
It is too, man. And that's like when you were talking about your feelings and how you feel this intense rage that we feel inside. And I always say to people, like I tell OG a lot and to other people, I pray to God you never feel that, because it feels like you're this close to just losing complete control of your actions. It happens. And like for us, well, the path that we chose in that lifestyle with the biker lifestyle is, you get pushed into that corner, for whether it's physical, verbal abuse and all that, which you're going through, as I did as well, but nothing like yours, of course. But abuse is abuse. And the way to fight back that is, with the path we took is you jump into the world we jump into, there are no rules except our rules. And if we don't like them, we'll change them. And if you don't like it, you're going to get stomped on. And like you said, there's people in the past where you don't even know them. You might be just sitting in a clubhouse or be out with your boys somewhere, and there's someone you happen to make eye contact or just see them, and you feel that, just rage. You just want to go over there and crush them. And they didn't do anything. They didn't disrespect you. It's just that built up rage from all the years of abuse. And like you nailed it, Thomas, where you can't carry it around, man, because if it doesn't kill you, you're going to kill someone else. And
True.
and
I remember one episode when I was going to talk to my father. He was at the local bar, and it was it was like a bad movie. You know, I get in the door and just look around, and the bartender, he turns off the music, and everybody just looks at me. Yeah, I think, what the fuck? What's going on? Do I
Your
have
dad,
something on my face?
your
I
dad
just
did
got
that?
in the door. I felt I was happy, you know. They're just looking at me like I'm crazy. And my father came over and he took me and put me in a chair and gave me a beer. He said, "What's going on with you?" I said, "No, nothing's going on. I'm fine. I'm happy. I had a good day." And my father says to me, "But you were coming in the door looking like you wanted to kill everybody." And I was having a good day.
Oh,
So that was so not realistic for me, but that's how I look like. That's how I actually felt when
Y-
I actually, when a person takes pleasure in hurting other people, you're in a really bad place. And that's where I was at that point in my life.
Yeah, and you know, you share sometimes that you can't hide your feelings by you could try to bury them in here, but it shows out here. And
Yeah.
because I remember people in my past, you know, because you had all the different types in the club. You got the loudmouths who would be, "I'm gonna kick your ass," and everything, just all this shit. And I remember one time as a young kid, my dad, got in a fight, came home, and I'm telling my dad about it. And I go, "Yeah, there was more of them than me." And I go, "I did well." I go, "But though, after you're a little outnumbered," I go, "There was this little prick that really wasn't saying much at the time. Everyone else was like doing all this stuff." My dad's like, "Don't worry about the guy doing all the chirping. Don't worry about that guy." He goes, "You see a guy just kind of eyeballing you and not saying," he goes, "that's the one to watch out for, because he's not going to tell you he's going to kick your ass. He's just going to kick your ass." And
True.
I remember in my days with the club and my drinking and drugs and all that, I'd go to a lot of places myself. I'd be wearing my cut. And a lot of times they'd say, "Be careful where you go. Always go with the club brother," and all that. I got to the point where it was like, "Fuck you, man. I'll go where I want, when I want, and no one's going to tell me any different." Now, I wouldn't go into places and look for fights or walk in. Plus, for one, I'm wearing a cut. So if I go in there and start doing stupid shit, it's going to reflect on the club. And if the cops get involved, now I'm going to take repercussions because now I brought attention to the club. But I would go in there, and a lot of times I'd just sit by myself, and I ended up becoming friends with these guys at this one local bar. But I remember I was sitting by myself and I'm just sitting there. And it was one of those things like out of a comedy, man. And I looked down and there's like three guys going like that. And as soon as I looked at them, they went, "Oh, don't mind us." And this happened a few times. And then the one time the guy went to the bathroom, and on the way back, I happened to look up at him and he was like, starts looking. And I just said hi to him. And he looked at me. He goes, "Hi." And he goes, uh, "So you're a biker?" I'm just looking, and I'm sorry. He goes, "Me and my buddies saw you." And he's talking about the highwaymen and all that. And
Oh.
he goes, "Can I buy you a beer?" "Yes, you can." And so he ended up buying me and all of a sudden he goes like that. He looks down and his buddies are sitting there like that. He goes, "It's okay. You can come down and talk to him." We ended up having a great time. And years later, we're sitting at that same bar, same group of guys, reminiscing stories. They're like, "We'd see you come in." And he goes, "As soon as you walked in the door, you looked like you just wanted to shoot the place up." I wasn't yelling or anything, but it was just that persona. And I, you know, and I was told that it actually helped me because I wasn't, some people thought that you just look mean and, they don't want to have any issues. And I didn't want to have any. So if by looking that way helped keep me out of fights, I went with it. But it was so funny because, like you said, that's what I mean, Thomas, about your stories. I can relate to the stuff you're talking about, and it's funny, and it's not,
yeah.
but it is. Um, but yeah, man, with your club and all that, and the stuff that you went through, your dad, you brought him up too. Do you remember how, I mean, was the physical abuse with him from day one that you remembered, that you had memories, that was he always abusive?
I don't remember so much of my earliest childhood. I know that everybody said that I was a very quiet kid. When I was a baby, I usually uh, take care of myself, play alone, and didn't make not much noise. I was actually so quiet. So when my little brother came, which is only he's only 3 years younger than me, they didn't figure out that he actually couldn't hear anything until he was over 3 years old, because they thought it was natural. He's just sitting there playing with himself because that's what I did. So there was definitely something going on, and me trying to keep a low profile, not to be seen or make a ruckus or anything, because I didn't know what was going to happen. And I remember the earliest thing I remember is my father hitting my mother in alcoholic rage, and I step in between. I don't know, maybe I was 7 or something like that, and he hits me, and I hit my head on the radiator, so I kind of pass out for a minute or something, and that made him stop. But that's the earliest thing I remember. I also remember being in the Boy Scouts, and in the start I liked it because it was different and I was with other people, but I couldn't really relate because they were so much different than me, because they had other lives that I didn't understand because of my background and my home environment. And I only came 3 or 4 times when I was about 10, because every time or most of the times my parents should pick me up, they never came. So I was just sitting there watching all the other kids getting picked up by their parents, and then the scout leader was closing everything down in this hut out in the woods and saying, "Oh, I need to go now. So I think your parents are coming soon." And the only light that was left was the light outside the door, and I was just sitting on the steps alone in the woods with these lights, and I could just in the distance see the road and the cars driving by. And every time I saw a car on the road, I hoped it was my parents. And sometimes half hour went by, sometimes an hour. And when one of my parents came, if my father came, he was drunk. If my mother came, she was disturbed and stressed out. "Oh, get in the car quick. We need to go home. Your daddy's there," and everything. So it was, and I didn't like to be there after that. And also it made me feel that my parents didn't really care about me. So that was the feeling that I grew up with, that I was just a nuisance. Nobody really cared. They didn't even care to pick me up on time. So that was not a comfortable childhood.
No, man. I mean, those are such important years for a kid. I mean,
Yeah.
anything from, you know, not knowing the answer to a question. "My dad, can you help me?" "Oh, okay." To falling down, skin in your knee. "Oh, come here, I'll take care of you." The nurturing, the caring. You're left in the freaking woods. I mean, and not only that, but at such a young age, "Here, Thomas, take this AK, go in the backyard and play." You know, and just the environment when you turn as a youngster as well, you're looking around and you're seeing all your buddies, you're seeing mom and dad. As soon as they get there, "Oh, how was their day?" Hugs and laughing and this, and that's something that you never got, man. And it's just for some of the stories that I hear from doing these shows, eh, you know, it's just amazing that, like, just like you, that some of our amazing family members are even here. I mean, that just shows a toughness. that are in us all. When it comes down to it, when people think, that's what I keep telling people, man, you have no idea how strong you really are. And I hope to God you never have to find out, but because of circumstances beyond our control, at such a young age, man, you find out real quick in the way you grow up. And by doing what we're doing, we're going to bring to light a lot of things that are going to be damn straight uncomfortable. I mean, addiction is not comfortable. Addiction doesn't sugarcoat shit. So either do we. I mean, we're going to be shooting from the hip and stuff and talking about it, but we need to put the reality to it, you know. And for me, most of all, man, addiction itself, just addiction. I've asked people before this, what's addiction to you? What do you think of it? When I say addiction, what is it? Oh, well, it's so powerful. It's evil. It's terrible. It destroys me, my family, my health. Okay, these are all right answers. Okay, they're good. And then they're like, I keep going around. And they're like, well, what about you? I go, to me, you know what addiction is? It's just a fucking word. That's all it is. It's a word. It's not a death sentence. I'm not going to let this word tear my life apart the way it already did. Because I had one guy when he was sitting there talking to me, and it was almost like he was putting addiction on a pedestal. It was, oh my God, with addiction, I don't know if I'll ever be able to beat this. It's so powerful, and I'm not. Addiction runs my life. I don't. I'm like, you keep that freaking attitude up. You got to turn this shit around, man. You make the decisions, not addiction. And by sharing our stories.
Some people use this as an excuse.
Yeah, it's easy to give up.
Yeah.
And but we're not going to do that. And everyone's escape is different. Some people, for you, when you were telling your story about being a kid and how being quiet and all that, the thing I was thinking in the back of my mind was not to do anything wrong, not to piss off dad, so if I'm not saying anything, if I'm not bothering him, I'm in this other room, I'm not giving them a reason to come in here and beat my ass or something like that. So, I mean, again, though, what a way to grow up. I mean, it's just.
What about your childhood, Manny?
See, that's like with me, when I have guests come on, I usually will start from the beginning, and some of them will be like yours or like Stacks and all that. When like their first memories is mom getting beat up, dad going to jail. I mean, their first memories, and it just gets worse. And for me, I can't do that. Mine's, I did come from a split marriage. My mom and dad did get divorced. My mom is an absolute angel, my hero. She got us away from my biological dad, who was physically and verbally abusive. And she got us out of there at a very young age. And for me, I lived with my aunt and uncle, and then I stayed with my cousins, so here I am 3 years, 4 years, whatever it is, 4 years old, living with different family members. And I've had people say, oh, that's too bad. I'm like, it was great because my family, they loved me. So I was surrounded by love. So I can't use that for an excuse, to say, well, that's why I drank. But and even growing up, I was surrounded by so much love and caring. I lived with my uncle, who was almost like an older brother. So even though I didn't have a dad, he was there, taught me baseball, hockey, sports, just the most loving person. So he was guiding me. So my childhood was very nice, normal, whatever that is. And of course, around 15 or so, 14, me and my good brother, Jerry, best friend in the world, got to know him when I was in 5th grade. We'd sneak downstairs, grab the bottles behind the bar, guzzle, and we didn't know what we were doing. It's like, are you drunk? I don't know. We'll drink some more, whatever. So, I mean, it was just that innocent little dumbass kid shit. And even like through high school, I mean, I was playing sports. I was very good at hockey. And so a lot of my buddies that were starting to venture into drugs, I was being told, you're going to go far in hockey. You might make the show someday, so I was focused. But then I had a series of injuries that caused some issues. I did. I've always loved the bikes in the biker world and that adrenaline. I always loved that. And as I got older, the drinking, became just more social. So I don't have these like wild off the bat stories until later in life. I took baby steps on my road to addiction. So um, I started drinking more, and but I always would gauge other people. I was like, well, I'm not drinking as much as he is, my other buddy, and well, I'm not getting pulled over like he is, and but just to kind of fast forward a little bit here, instead of going through every year, my Jerry, who I was telling you about, who I met in like fourth, fifth grade, he was my brother. I loved him, and he was no longer with us. When we were much older, he started drinking a lot, more than all of us, and he had some issues. Bailed him out of jail many times, many fights, and because of our schedules, I didn't see him for a couple months. Just some things going on, and one of my buddies called, and he goes, "Have you seen Jerry lately?" He goes, "You better get over there. He's in trouble." So I get over there, and I walk downstairs, and I'm looking at him. He was sitting in the dark, and I turned the light on, and his stomach was all huge. And I get closer, his eyes were yellow. I'm like, I knew liver. I'm like, Jerry, man, we got to get you to the doctor. Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. So a couple of days go by. He said he was going to go, and he didn't. And he's getting worse by the day. So now all the buddies were getting over there trying to get him to go to the hospital. We finally get him to the hospital. That last day, though, to take him, I'm helping him get dressed. And we're talking, and he goes, I'm pissing blood. And I'm like, that's not good. He goes, I'm shitting blood. And all of a sudden he points at his pillow. And I'm like, what is that? Blood was just pouring out of his mouth, his nose. He was hemorrhaging. We got him to the hospital, and he made it a week, and they checked him all out. And here's my best friend, my brother. And they came out because they had me being the go-between with the doctors and the family. And they came out and they said, there's nothing we could do for him. And he was pretty bad. They called us to let us know that he took a turn for the worse. And I remember getting to the hospital. I actually got into the hospital bed, held him when he died right in my arms. And I remember telling my boys, I'm looking around, I go, what a hell of a way to die. Well, fast forward here, my drinking is starting to pick up, but you never think it's a problem. Now it's affecting my work. It's affecting my relationships and stuff like that. Drugs, things are starting to escalate. From having a few beers to a couple shots, now it's having a few beers and a pint, then a fifth and a half a day. And, the anger, just like you said, is starting to come around. A bunch of fights. Had a gun shoved in my face, and we're fighting, and he pulls the trigger. So now I got a plate under my eye here. You figure that might wake you up. It didn't. It just got me more angry. A year later, I got stabbed with a razor knife down the side of my face. So all these things are happening. And so I turned to more drugs, more alcohol, make the pain go away. And in the meantime, I knew all the guys in the clubs, the different clubs in Detroit. So they all knew me. I was also at that point went in with the Detroit Police Department. You got the police in 1% motorcycle club. It's not a very good relationship, but it's one that they knew me prior to the police department. So they knew about me and stuff going on. But my drinking, it just was getting worse and worse, affecting a lot of things in my personal life, family. And I remember, like I said, and I am cutting out a lot of shit just to kind of get to the main points that get us to where we are now. Is I remember when I saw Jerry that day, some of the things he said when I go, your eyes, they're yellow. And I remember saying, Jerry, you're going to die. And he was like, yeah, whatever. He just didn't care. Mine got to the point where I was sitting at home. And one day a friend of mine came over and looks into my eyes. Manny, your eyes are yellow. Same thing I said to Jerry 20 years prior, whatever it was. And I just go, yeah, I know. We got to go to the hospital. Nah, I don't care. Same thing Jerry said. The next day, I get up and go to the liquor store. And it's only a matter of maybe 12 to 14 hours since my eyes. Within that time, I got up to go to the liquor store. I was completely yellow from head to toe, completely yellow. Um, I ended up having some issues. I ended up being taken by ambulance to the hospital, which was close to the house. I was there for a short time, and they told my mom, there's nothing we can do for him. We got to send him to a major trauma unit in Detroit, which I was there for 30 days, about half in ICU. And I coded 3 times, and they came out and they woke me up one day and they said, we're sorry, but there's nothing we can do. Your kidneys, pancreas, and liver have all shut down. It was like, and I'm talking to this guy. I'm delirious as hell. Then he just leaves. It was like, oh, what the fuck? So all of a sudden, his associate, a really nice younger female doctor, comes in. And I wake up and I look, and she's just staring at me, crying. And I knew I was in trouble. So I said, man, there's got to be something you can do. And she goes, Manny, there's not, up until this point, your organs were functioning, but barely. We were hoping they would start to improve, but yours, all of them, they all shut down. And there's no coming back from that. You can't start your organs up again. It's no magic powder, pill, or anything. So their hospice came in. I had to call my mom. My family came in, said my goodbyes. They said, you're going to be dead within 6 weeks. And so I was like, holy shit. And so they take some blood from me and transfer the records to hospice. And then they come back a few hours later and they're taking more blood. It was like, what the hell? They do this for 7 days. And the last day, my room's full of doctors. And they're all just staring at me. And Dr. Death, that said I was going to be dead, he starts laughing at me. And I was like, what the? You son of a bitch. You're sending me home to die and you're laughing. Well, what they didn't tell me was they kept taking the blood because there was actually movement in the levels of my results. And the last day, they said, when we told you 6 weeks, we just tried to give you enough fight to live. We said that you'd be dead in 48 hours. And they said, as of now, your pancreas, kidneys, and liver are all functioning at 100%. And they said, you should be dead. So that's all kind of thrown in a nutshell together of my journey. And there's a shit ton I left out that will catch on just like as yours as well. But that's when I decided I got to do something. And lo and behold, my fight, our war. I said I spent enough of my life fighting the wrong fight or for any reason. It's time to fight the good fight for the right reason. And there you are. I was meant to meet you. This was all meant to happen. And, it's an honor and a blessing to be sitting here with you, brother. It really is.
The same for me. This is going to be awesome. And like you said, it's a hard road, but we survived. There's a lot of people, almost everyone that I was with back then has either died or in prison. Got friends that are shot and stabbed, and even a couple that cut to pieces where they tried to cover their tracks somehow. So it's a different lifestyle, and you can't if you follow that road, you end up dead or in jail. There's nothing in between. That's the only way it goes. So you have to step off and do some other stuff. But I was very close. When I chose another path, I was sitting there with either I do something else or I just end it right now. That was where I was. So I didn't really have a choice. But luckily for me, a guy that was in a 12-step program, he introduced me to a fellowship called Adult Children of Alcoholics, ACA. and that was my start into recovering. And that changed my life, because suddenly I wasn't alone anymore. There was other people feeling the same way as me, and I could change myself. There was actually something physical I could do to get better, instead of just going down this path. And I didn't know anything. I had to learn everything over again, because I grew up with my father at bars and on the back of a motorcycle. I didn't learn, and I didn't know anything about being a father, being a good boyfriend, or a good colleague. I didn't know anything about that. All I knew was this lifestyle. So it was very hard for me to actually be a part of society, because it was foreign for me. They could just as well have talked a different language and had a different culture, because I didn't understand anything of it. And what my employer is yelling and screaming at me because something I didn't do, and I can't punch him in the face. What the hell?
I know. They changed the rules on us. And,
Yeah.
there's times
Who
I'll
knew?
joke around. There's times I'll sit here now and I'll get frustrated on something. It's like, damn it. I go, it was a lot easier back then, because you just lay the fucker out. Bam, there. Problem solved. Problem solved. And because I remember telling some people before, and again, things that you say, the things that I understand when you're talking about learning things again, I've said the exact same things about emotions that sound so stupid. Like, you mean that love is actually something? It's just a word. I mean, I love you. Do you really? No. I mean, I'm just saying that to shut you up. I don't know. Are you going to be faithful? No. I mean, yes. I mean, these are all emotions, and then respect, consideration. And it sounds so bullshit when I tell people that for a while there, you get into this mindset where the emotions end, and you disconnect. Everything is just empty. There's no emotions. Happy, sad, they don't exist. I mean, and I, when I tell these stories, it's not trying to be a badass, or no, I'm not. It's just the opposite. It's very sad, because that's not how I was brought up. But because of my choices, that's what I become. I mean, I remember having conversation with my own mother where she was crying her eyes out right in front of me. And it's like, are we done yet? Come on, man. I gotta go to the bar. Okay, I won't do it again. I'm sorry. With no remorse, none. And it did not bother me. And but yeah, learning, not only what the word respect and caring and support and all these things mean, but actually feeling it inside, like feeling upset when I hurt someone's feelings. It's just like, what the hell is this? Ooh, I don't feel very good. Ah, shit. I'm starting to have feelings. I felt like the Grinch. What's going on? I don't know. But it was so much easier when like Thomas said, bang, there. Woo. Yeah, I feel better already. But it's so true though, because like I said, that conversation with my mom, man, that I look back at that, and it happened to me because I'm literally talking to her at the table, and she's crying her eyes out, and then she's going punching her chest. She's like, "You're breaking my heart," my own mom, and I'm just like, nothing. And fast forward to where we are now. It was we were sitting at that same table, and we're laughing, having fun now in life, enjoying each other. And I'm looking at her, and all of a sudden, it was like the world stopped, and it was like a slideshow from my past sitting there. All of a sudden, like that picture was her crying, and I'm just staring. And all of a sudden, the next one was her like pounding her chest, and then more tears. And I'm just sitting here looking at her, and it was the strangest thing. And I remember my mom going, "What's the matter?" And then I started crying, and I was like, I am so sorry for what I did. And I brought that up. Remember that time, the conversation, and in mom fashion, she goes, "Oh, it's okay." No, it's not okay. But I just remember this overwhelming feeling of just feeling like a piece of shit that I could talk to my own mother that way and not care. But now remembering it, it's like I don't ever want to forget that feeling. Because a lot of times you'll hear loved ones say, "Don't go there. Leave the past in the past. Don't." No, I don't do that. I want to remember. I want to remember how terrible I felt, seeing that and remembering it. And it's just like, it's like starting over. So when you tell me these things about, learning, I know exactly what you mean. I really do. I mean, I'll never be able to physically actually feel the emotions, but I can relate to everything you just said. And
Yeah. I when I started in the going to meetings, I did the 9 step without even knowing it, because I felt so guilty that I had to go out to the persons I hurt and say I'm sorry, because I couldn't bear it anymore. I had to get it out. And I talked to I have 3 kids. I talked to all of their mothers, and it was like it was a relief for me, but also for them, because it made them understand me better, and we had a better connection back then. Now I don't talk to any of them anymore, but that's more like because I'm a public figure and they are more the person that they like to bury their past and what does the neighbor think and stuff like that. So, but my kids are growing now, so it doesn't really matter. But back then, it was important for me. It was important also for me to grow as a person, that I had to acknowledge that I actually did something wrong, and I actually, instead of just drowning the shame with alcohol, I just had to embrace it and say, I'm sorry. I have to I have to acknowledge it, because if I don't, I'm not gonna be able to let it go, and I'm gonna start drinking again. So, and that was even before I did my first step. So, and and now I'm in my 10 steps, and I've been doing my 12 step for the last 10 years. So I'm doing it. I'm doing back and forth a bit, but that's how life is. It's
it,
not it's not every time you can do it by the book. You just have to go with life, go with the flow, and
yep.
here we are.
Yeah, and that's just it too, man. And it's something, hearing you, because I've had to, reach out as well. But isn't that something that we're doing the exact opposite of what we used to do? We kept everything
Yeah,
in. We didn't show anything. And now it's just like this overwhelming urge to do just the opposite. It's almost like just opening the floodgates to get it all out, which is healthier for all of us. And but yeah, that's just incredible with thinking about all the things we got to do. And like you were saying, going through the steps and all that, the things that we're doing, and how you're doing, going from here to here to here. And you know what, it's life, man. There is no right way and wrong way in life. And
Yeah.
for me, and like for my family with My Fight Our War and what we're doing here, because I will never tell someone, yeah, if you want to be sober, you have to do this, and that's it. If you don't do it this way, you'll fail. Because I actually had a guest come on one time who tried to say that, and I was like, yeah, okay, bye. And we were done, because he was literally slamming other people. No, that won't work. Social media, that won't work. Doing this group sessions, no, this, you have to do it. And for me, I don't care what organization you're with, if it's social media, in person, sponsor, whatever it is, if it's to help in recovery, I will back you and promote you 100%. But I will never tell you you have to do a certain one, because as we all know, it may not work for you. You got to try something else.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people will jump on me because I'll say, I went to a meeting and for me, it just didn't, I wasn't comfortable. I couldn't do the steps, and it just wasn't for me. But this other stuff gave me exactly what I needed. And so who am I to sit here and tell someone else, no, you got to do what I did? No, not at all. But we do, we share, we share
Yeah.
information, we share our ideas, and hey, this worked for me, man. Give it a shot. Worst thing that happens is it'll fail. And you know what? If it does, we got something else for you. We'll just keep on
For
trying.
me, yeah, for me, it was the first time I took a break from doing the steps were when I was writing. No, it's actually before that. I were in a relationship where my jealousy was kind of ruining things for me. So I knew I had to do something to reverse it in some, or work with it. So I took a online course of to try and get my thoughts right in my head, and it worked. Actually, it gave me another perspective, another way of looking at things. And the second time I kind of took a break was where I had a lot of resentment for other people. So I was in this Baptist church. They had a kind of a program like the 12 steps. They called it something else, and I tried it. It was very good for me, because I could doing the 12 steps just on one thing, and for me that was resentment against other people. And because I knew about the 12-step program, I know this, I can follow it. But the problem I had with that particular thing is that it was taken out of context. It's a priest in Denmark from I don't remember the church. It will come to me. But they were having a lot of problems with former addicts coming to their church, and they wanted to believe in something, their higher power, but they didn't feel welcome in the church, so they left. So this guy, he takes the 12-step program, the book, and then he narrows it down to about a third, and then he fills it up with Bible quotes, and then he sells it to everyone that wants to be a part of this thing that he says he created. He just stole it from AA. And the problem was that there was a lot of people that went to the church, and actually by doing this program, they got up the childhood traumas that they actually forgot about. So
Wow.
you had a lot of people that suddenly their whole worldview collapses, and they have all this trauma, and they get depressed, and you have these these Christian people that just wants to do good, but they have no idea that they just opened Pandora's box. And there was a lot of people that some of them even got on medication and had to get sick leave for their jobs, and it was chaos.
Wow.
And now the book is actually, they think it's a success in Denmark, so now it's getting translated into other languages. And I actually pointed out this issue to the church. And I said, you just stole the 12-step program, and then you make it into something it's not, because there's a reason why God is not in the 12-step program, why religion has been kept out, why it's a higher power. And their excuse was that, yeah, but Bill and Ben were Christians, so they will probably don't mind. So they just stole this and make it into something that the Baptist Church in Denmark and other churches are actually making a lot of money on. Something that should be free and should be handled by other addicts that understand what they are working with, so they don't ruin lives. So that kind of got me angry, and that's one of the reasons why I don't go to that particular church anymore. But that was some of the reasons. And the third thing was when I told my sponsor I was gonna write a book about my life, and he said, you can't continue with your 10th step now. We have to hold it. I said, why? Yeah, because when you're writing a book about your past life, you're back in your 4th step. So we can't continue until you wrote your book. That's
unbelievable.
And at the first, I said, I don't know, but when I wrote my first book, it actually makes sense, because some days I was crying, lying in my bed, almost fucking my thumb, because I felt like a little child again, writing about everything. And when I was writing about my upbringing, other things came up that I forgot about, traumas and things that happened that I kind of tried to forget. So it was a hard process, but I'm glad I did it. And now I'm writing a book about sex addiction, and I wrote the first book in 17. So now I'm better at writing. I wrote 3 books now, so this book is gonna be bigger and with more details and with better writing, and I'm gonna tell the story from the start again, my whole life, because to understand addiction, and especially sex addiction, you have to know my whole story to get the full picture. Most people just think, sex addiction, that's just something you say because you want to fool around or be unfaithful. But it has nothing to do with that. I never got attention and love from my parents because they weren't able to give me any. They never got anything from their parents, so they didn't know how to give me love and affection. And therefore, I got with a woman that was 37 when I was 14, and she abused me. And I thought it was love because I never felt anything like it before. So I got confused with it. And therefore, that started my sex addiction, because, this feels good, I want more of that. So it came another addiction, just like alcohol and other stuff. I could just pour in that black hole I felt I had inside. So that kind of fucked my life up big time back then.
Oh man, I tell you, when you're talking about some of this stuff about, our loved ones, man, they love us so much, but sometimes what they do and say can cause so much pain and damage without them even knowing. I mean, of course, they don't mean to, but they don't want to see us go back down that road. They don't want to see us hurt. So they'll be saying stuff that they don't understand. And like you said, it could literally just all of a sudden, things that our mind we block out are so intense, we block them out for a reason. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, let's add that to the fucked up memory that I don't want to remember. So I mean, but it's there, and it's when you were talking about that too, about how now they're taking this and adding it to that and coming up with their own magic script of recovery and making money off it. Like you said here, the whole thing shouldn't be about how much is it, how much does it cost, how much am I going to get? It's how many people can I help, how many people can I save? And yeah, that's what you get, like these hypocrites who come out, oh, I want to help, oh, okay, would you like to come on the show? Well, yeah, how much are you going to pay me? You need to pay me to come on your show. Oh, you know what DA coming on the show, screw you. I don't care who you are. If you got and some of these people who are like big time people who are making very good money, who still want to get paid. And it's like, but you got people like, hell, we're flying all over the place. And sometimes, man, just making, from A to B is tough, but we're doing it because like you, Tom, we have to, it's, if not, then all of these blessings have been for nothing, and, I'm not gonna let that happen. And that's why when we started talking, I knew, that this was, meant to be as far as me and you doing our stuff, because so much of it. And, I'm sitting here just going through too. I was looking at, our family here, the comments and stuff coming in. Here it is, 11 a.m. Well, not now, but when we start 11 a.m. in the morning on a holiday, Memorial Day here in the States. And, we've got these amazing people chiming in, John Toole, Tyler Thomason, all these people, Leroy Ebron, and yes, Bo, and from all over the United States who are chiming and listening to what we are talking about, what's being said, and then adding to it. It's like something that you're talking about. People are saying, yeah, and you're making them remember things. It's just like, so they're not alone, because they're listening to your stories, and some of them are relating to everything you're saying as well. So like you said, we're here, man, and we're not judging you. We went through it. So the last thing we're going to do is judge you. Let's see.
We're going to share.
And it keeps us humble. It keeps us humble and on the right track.
It really does. And the thing for me, when I tell people about, they're like, well, what do you do? What do you do? Which is great. You'll share your information. I don't have anything, because for me, this happened in 2020. COVID shut the world down, literally shut the world down. And I got out of the hospital the first or second week of February, just when everything that's it. Everything was done. So here I went from being told you're going to be dead, you're got 6 weeks to live, to all of a sudden, oh, you're going to live. I mean, so for those 7 days that I was waiting to die, I remember laying there looking around, looking out the window, just trying to remember what a leaf looked like on a tree. I remember looking at the clock thinking, because they said less than 6 weeks, which means I could close my eyes and be dead that night. And I just remember being in this room thinking, this is it, man. This is how I'm going to end my life, is this way. And so when they told me I was going to live, they're like, you need like intense inpatient 24/7 rehab. And I'm like, all right. Well, I get out and I go to this place, where I was supposed to go. And at this point is the start of locking down the world. And they're like, Manny, we don't know what to tell you, man. We're closed. And they said, if you have withdrawal, cravings, or suicidal thoughts, go to ER. That was it, because nothing was available for me to go. By the grace of God, I've never had one craving. I've never gone through withdrawal. And I never had a sponsor. I never went to any steps. I never went to any social or any program, because COVID shut the world down. I didn't have anything. And I was new at this, so I didn't know about all these other external organizations that I, to turn to on social media. I didn't know anything. So it was just like, all right. So when people ask me, well, what do you do? I do this. I share my story. I hear people. I talk to people all day. You, me, OG, all of us. And another thing you said is that black hole. When I try to explain to everyone about addiction, that's what I tell them. I go, just picture being in a dark, scary hole that gets darker and deeper and scarier by the second. Every time you blink, it gets worse. That's the tip of the iceberg of addiction for me. So when you say this stuff, it's just like, man, I get you, man. And yeah, it's just really, really something that here sharing such terrible things that happen in our lives, is actually such a positive thing for so many people right now. It
Yeah,
just
it is.
really is.
And for me also, with knowing that I'm not alone, can talk to other people about, when I talk to other people about addiction, and hearing their thoughts, they give just me just as much as I give them, or maybe even more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My first sponsor in the program, he actually said to me, I came to him and said, I'm very grateful that you want to help me and do the steps with me. And he just looks at me and said, do you really think that I would do this if I didn't get something out of it myself?
Yeah.
So, and so, and that's the thing, because talking to other people about addiction, I can only see things from my perspective.
Mhm.
But if I talk to you with your background and your experience, and I talk to other people, uh, then we can remind each other of different things. And hearing your story, I can relate in my way. And actually, the best help that I ever got was when I hold lectures, and ordinary people that has nothing to do with the lifestyle I lived, or rehab or addiction or anything. They just live normal, boring lives, and they sit there and listen to my story for an hour or two, and then they come up with these questions. I don't know where they come from, but they really hit sometimes, because they think in a totally different way than I do, because they have a different background.
Mhm.
Yep.
And by having those questions coming out of nowhere, I have to think another way that I usually do to actually answer these questions. And afterwards, I'm just thinking, wow, there's some things I have to work with, or maybe I do it this way, or I never seen uh, that thing from that angle before. And all these things, that's actually been some of the best therapy for me, holding
Mhm.
lectures and hearing other people asking questions, and questions about where, when, and why, and different stuff like that. So that's been one of the most helpful things in my recovery.
Yeah, and that's just it. By sharing, like you just said, it helps. I get just as much. And for me, what I'd like to do, me and you could sit here all day and share our stories, and we'll know exactly what we're talking about. I'll tell a story. Oh yeah, I can relate. I can relate. But me and you could sit in front of a bunch of people, like do a meet and greet kind of thing, and a question and answer kind of thing, with people who are maybe moms and dads of a child who is dealing with addiction, husbands, wives, siblings who are never touched a drug or alcohol in their lives, but they're blindsided by their loved one who now all of a sudden is, one day they're our little boy Jimmy, and now all of a sudden he's like, what do you mean he's a heroin addict and drugs and alcohol? Out of nowhere, they're just blindsided. So they have all these questions like, how did I miss this? Or what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. This was on us. But by sharing our stories with the ones that you just said it, maybe it can open their eyes to understanding their son or daughter or loved one a little bit better, instead of judging them like, Well, it's just an excuse. If you want to stop, just stop. They don't understand the power. So by doing what we're doing, if we can help them understand, just like I tell people, do you realize that your son or daughter is choosing this drug over you, your own family member? Okay, we're going to the Christmas party. The whole family's going to be there. We love you. Okay, love you. Getting ready to go out the door. Phone rings. Hey, man, I just got a bunch of shit, man. I can be over there in 5 minutes. Okay, here, you just put your family, everyone. Nope, you chose this drug over your own family. That's the power that it consumes you with. So what I'd like to do is try to really pound that into the loved one of the person dealing with addiction, to try to make them understand what we're feeling. And I think with what we're doing, I know it's going to work. I mean, by sharing our stories, just by hearing that we lived it. And and like I said, addiction's only a word. It's not a death sentence, or else we wouldn't be here.
True.
But and just looking at the amount of the people chiming in, and what I love about our family here is they'll be chit chatting, and of course, if they ever have any questions for me or questions for Thomas or anything like that, please ask away. But a lot of them, they'll be chit chatting with each other about things that we said and they're relating to. So it just opens up this conversation. And just like I told OG, as far as different things that are uncomfortable, I love controversy because controversy brings about conversation and opinions and thoughts. Now, back in the day, confrontation for me and you would have been, oh, what? Bang. Conversation is over.
Conversation over.
Sometimes it's just like, God, it was so easy back then.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I tell you,
everything has consequences. So we're going a different route today.
We are. And, for everyone who has been watching us, just a quick rundown, man, for Tyler, for John and Kaisa and Amber, Randy. Oh, that's everybody?
That's everybody.
Well, all you guys, man, for being part of this. And this is just the beginning, man. Me and Thomas are going to be doing so many shows. This is, show 1, episode 1 of a lifetime of change.
There you go.
And, my brother's keeper, a biker's podcast, it's our life. This is something that was meant to be. In the past, it was like, it's a coincidence. No, there ain't no coincidence, man. This was meant to be.
Everybody happens in the right time and the right order. So,
yeah, I mean, what are the chances here? I happen to get a hold of you while you're in Thailand and chit chat for a few minutes. And it happened to be the rate as you're giving another offer to do a show. It's like, well, I mean, if I would have waited a couple more days, if, but that's not what happened. Here we are with amazing family, full of questions, full of love, full of support, full of non-judgmental. It's a win-win, as OG always says.
If it didn't happen the time it did, I probably, even if I didn't feel it, I probably said yes to the other offer. So you kind of saved the whole thing.
Well, you know what? We gotta go back and thank Stacks, because
we have to thank him.
Yeah, Bill
It's
Stacks.
his fault. Yeah, so if it doesn't work out, we can blame him.
Yes. When everything goes amazing, which it will, that's because of Thomas and myself. If by chance something goes drastically wrong, Stacks.
Exactly. But, it's good to have a scapegoat,
I know. But we are our dates, our times, we will keep determined. Everybody updated. But as of now, it looks like it's still going to be Mondays. Just the time once Thomas is back in Denmark, because I'm not sure if everyone knows, Thomas and Sophia have been extremely busy. It's because they're getting married. So congratulations.
July 19th.
July 19th, they are going to get married, and so happy for both of you.
Thank you. Tiger wedding in Denmark.
Well, let's see. OG has to call the airport.
I can go. You
Oh
can't.
yeah, that's right. She can go. I don't have my passport yet. So, damn it. But seriously though, congratulations to you and Sophia, man. I mean, the pictures of you guys in Thailand are absolutely beautiful pictures, and hard to believe that as beautiful as she is, that she was down for the count, man. I mean, she was sick. For those of you who don't know, man, what was it?
Salmonella.
Salmonella.
2 kinds.
Yeah, that one.
2 different
Couldn't do
kinds of
one. Had to do
salmonella.
2.
Man,
Yeah,
so
they said that she would probably be out for 3 or 4 weeks, but she was up and running after 3 days with fever and everything. She didn't care, so she's a tough one.
Well, yeah, that's what I said, man. When I saw her out by some poses by the bikes and all that she was already up and out. I told OG, I go, man, she's doing better. And Thomas was telling me, yeah, man, she's tough. I go, well, she's with you. She's got to be.
Yeah, right.
So, you definitely need that. But I'm so glad that first and foremost that she's okay and healthy and more than that for you both, for Thomas, all that you have gone through, the turnaround in our lives, the blessings that we now have. And to be able to share that now with Sophia, I mean, you can see, you glow, when you bring up her name and talk about her. So just so very happy for you, man, for both of you.
Thanks. That means a lot. Thanks, Dave.
And we also got some stuff going on. Like I said, want to give a shout out to Bill Stacks for his part in all this. And Stacks is always so busy, but we are working on doing some shows together. Me and Thomas have been asked to come on different shows together to tell our stories and about My Brother's Keeper of Bikers podcast. So keep an eye out for us for doing that. Talking Trash, got to thank you guys so much. Kaisa, I see you there, along with, of course, producer Tim Snyder, Will, and Jim. Thank you guys so much for your support, and looking forward to coming on your show as well. Let's see. What else was there? I know there's more, but that's okay because we got plenty of more shows coming, and we'll go over all that as well. But yeah, man, I tell you what, episode 1, I think not
it's
too
a
bad.
go.
It's a go.
No,
man.
I don't think so. Yeah,
It's
it went well, and like you said, it's we are 2 pieces of the same coin. And I am looking forward to talking about other stuff with you and telling you my whole story. We probably have to cut it up in some pieces, and I'll have to hear. We have to hear all your whole story on our podcast as well. Of course, I'm looking forward to grilling you for that episode.
Oh yeah. And that's really the best part is man, there's so much we're going to cover. Thomas and myself, we're going to be doing this every week, man. We'll be doing the shows, and of course we're going to be sharing a lot of our personal stories, our personal things that we've gone through to get us here. But it's about you guys, man. We're going to be coming up with different topics that we're going to be hitting on every week. And but please, reach out if there's something that is really, really bothering anybody. If there's a certain topic that you just can't seem to get a grasp on, whatever it is, man, we're here. Please reach out to me, Thomas, OG, and we'll make sure to put it on our list, and we'll attack it, man. We'll do it as a family.
And also, can I just put in one thing?
Yeah.
We talked about Sophia coming on your podcast.
Yep. Oh
My
yeah.
5 Hour War, and she's also a former addict, and she's been in Al-Anon, For many years, she's been with a narcissistic alcoholic for 26 years. So that's a very interesting story. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to get hit in the back head. But I'm gonna let her tell the story, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, there's even some. She's writing a book about it right now, actually, in Swedish, and hopefully it will get translated as well. But it will be her first podcast, and she's also just finished with her education as a KCP therapist. So she's starting up her own business. And she just sold her other therapist business in Sweden, and she's starting up now. Mostly online, but with base in Denmark, of course, because we're going to be living there. So that's
nice. Very good.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
That is definitely going to happen. OG, we will have Sophia reach out to talk to myself and OG. And
now I'm going to need her email address.
Yeah, we'll take care of that as well. But definitely. Yeah. Plus, we'll be able to get some pretty good stories from Sophia about Thomas.
No.
But I tell you, this is so freaking cool. And this is episode 1 show and all that good stuff. But I am so looking forward to that day to actually get to physically meet you and Sophia, be in the same room, and be able to do this, man. I am so looking forward to that.
We're gonna make that happen. Hopefully this year.
Yes, we have to. We do, and you know what? With your guys,
I'll steal the money, brother. So.
And
I'll go to the bank before it opens tomorrow. So.
Make a withdrawal. But we'll definitely gonna get Sophia on here, man. She's part of this family, man. Of course. So she's on without a doubt. But you guys back.
We talked about this before. I didn't just spring it on you. It's something we talked about before. Yeah.
Yeah. Not only that, but this is something that I like because it gives another perspective. Of the person who's coming into the relationship. First of all, it's like, what are you thinking? Are you nuts? Did you not just hear a story? But no, man, it really is, because it just shows, the people that see the real Thomas and the real, me and the real Kaisa and Tyler and John. They see, like I tell people, man, it's not like we woke up one day and I'm going to get up, have breakfast, take a shower, go to the oh shit, I forgot, today I'm going to become an addict. It's not on our to-do list. And we were all people before this happened, and we're people now, and we just happen to make some bad choices and decisions. But you know what? We're here, we're warriors, we're going to take care of it. And for the people like Sophia and all the people who have come in and support and see that side is a testament to all the Sophias out there. So I'm really looking forward to having her on the show.
Me too. I hope.
Well, I tell you, if the next show Thomas is sporting a black eye, we know something. But
or maybe when you have her on the show, you don't want to work with me anymore.
That's what I said too, man. I was doing a show last night talking trash, and they had me and another guest, Elizabeth, on, and they were talking, like, doing comparisons, Manny and Elizabeth. And I go, well, one of us has a face for TV, the other one has a face for radio. And I go, I'll guess, which is which. So you and Sophia both, man. Like I told you yesterday, seeing these pictures, it's like, man, you guys both just are, magazine article. There you are, man. So,
but like I told you, we actually been in a couple of actually 3 magazines in Sweden, and when we get home, we after a week we're gonna go to Sweden on my bike, and we're gonna take pictures for a new article in another newspaper in Sweden. So
nice.
It's coming.
No,
and one of those magazines has also been in Denmark. So we've been around.
Good.
And
Well,
it's
Good,
like
good.
you say, we actually met where last time we were in Bangkok, we were at a NA meeting, and when we came into the room, there was this lady from Australia that had been clean for a lot of years, and the first thing she said when we came in, "Oh, you look like a magazine cover."
oh,
There
I'm
you
telling
go.
you, man.
There you
Well,
go.
that's like
Yeah.
I said when I first saw you years ago. I started following you. I go, man, this guy's got it all. He's got the looks, he's got the story, he's got the accent, man. I go, shit. And now here I am. It's like, well, like I just said, one of us has a face for TV, the other radio. So you're helping keep the viewers for me. So I appreciate that. But man, you know what? You guys, when you can, I'd definitely love to get a copy of that magazine. You guys got to sign it for us. You can put that
Yeah,
on
I
the
have some extra copies, so I can send you a
Yes.
copy.
Oh, definitely would love to see that. Have that.
You can't read it, but I
Hey,
can sign it
Kaisa.
for you.
Kaisa. My mom was born in Stockholm.
Oh, wow.
Kaisa.
Oh,
She's a host
nice.
on Talking Trash. She is amazing. She's been on our show. But mom was born in Stockholm.
How cool is
Oh,
that?
nice.
The
Okay.
things we
See, the
know.
family
That's
just
about
grows.
300 kilometers from Gothenburg, where Sophia lives.
Okay.
Man, I
Yeah.
tell you, your schedule, you guys are going to be busy, and all this while planning a wedding.
I am busy. I got a wedding
Whoa.
in 6 weeks, and I got 4 interviews when I get home, 3 in Denmark and 1 in Sweden. So I'm a little stressed out right now, but I have a good chapter. I just got pictures from one of my prospects. He just cut the grass in my whole garden. I got 3,000 square meters. So that's
Okay.
I didn't ask him to do that. He just did it. So it's also our family we help out. So
Well,
it's nice
it's
to have good brothers
Wednesday.
and sisters.
Let's see, President El Jefe, man, he better cut that grass.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
El
man.
Jefe. There was some brothers in Norway that gave me that name for some reason. I think it sounds more like a Colombian drug lord than a president,
Yeah.
but what can you do?
Man, yeah, and that, as you know, man, when you get something like that in the club, it sticks with you. I mean,
Yeah, it does.
some of the names, I remember being at parties with some family and friends or whoever it was, and you're introducing people, and you're railing off these names, and they're just like, "Who are you people?" And then I've had guys, I've had people too where they're like, "What's his real name?" I'm like,
Don't know.
"No idea." No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
In
But,
my former club, there was this guy called Diesel, because when he was a prospect, he put Diesel on 2 members' Harleys.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. So he was a prospect for a very long time.
I was just gonna say he's still wearing that band. Well, that's just like going through, man. I remember we were at a party, and I'm just like, yeah, this is Crip, this is Porky, this is KO, this is blah blah Hammer, Xbox, and Shortcake, and all that. And people are like, what? and then some of the names. Oh, the one. At first time I met him, he was in another club, and he comes up to me, and I've seen him at other parties. And he comes running up. He goes, "Hey!" My club name's Gunner. He goes, "Hey, Gunner!" He gives me a hug, and I was with someone. They're like, "Oh, who's this?" And I go, "This is Booger." and then he was an old timer, man. He had the big old beard. He goes, and before I even got a chance to introduce him, he goes, "Yeah, I'm Booger." He says it with pride, boy. But yeah, some of the names are so much fun, and I'm really looking forward.
Yeah, I have a friend. I had a friend from the old club as well. He was they called him Pathfinder. And I asked one of the other brothers, so why do you call him Pathfinder? Because he always get lost.
And that's another too, man. I swear to God,
Yeah.
some of these names you get, and it's just like, oh, that's why I was so glad when I got mine. I was like, oh, thank God. But you know what I'm gonna do, man, just for fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through for our next show, and I'm just gonna start jotting down all the different names and shit. Says, okay, we'll put down real name or made up name and see if anyone can guess. But stuff like that. But man, brother, this is I have such good feelings about this, and this is just such an amazing journey that we're on, and I tell you what, I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else. I mean, thank God that I got a hold of you, and as my dad said before he left this earth, he goes, son, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So I'm glad I asked you, and here we are. And this is just the beginning of an amazing run, and I love you, man.
I love you too, brother. I'm very grateful that you had the courage to ask. And this will be the start of a beautiful friendship, I'm sure.
That's
you
right.
got it, my man. Well, before we head out, do you have anything in closing that you would like to say to everyone here in the family?
I'm just gonna say thank you for being here, and being a part of this means a lot to me. So I'm looking forward to getting to know the rest of you. I already got a lot of friends requests, so I know who some of you are.
But I knew that was going to happen.
Just adding to the family.
Yeah, I'm grateful to be a part of the family, and I'm glad that I can help it grow. So thank you so much.
Well, I definitely appreciate it, and I knew as soon as this was a go, I knew that it was just going to. So really appreciate it, man. I hope you guys have a safe flight back, and
get some rest. You're gonna be busy.
Yeah, we'll be in touch, and give me a holler when you guys get home, and we'll start covering some stuff and get ready for our next show. But
that's a promise, brother.
I tell you what, man, thank you so much, and you guys have a great day, great night.
Yeah, go to bed.
Go to bed.
Yeah, I will. It's 12 o'clock here now.
Well, you take care, man. I love you, and I'll be talking to you soon.
You too. Love you, brother.
Right,
bye.
Bye.
Oh man, show 1, episode 1.
In the tank.
What
this man's got to get some sleep.
Oh,
he got 4 things when he gets home, and then oh my god,
he just got all this stuff going on. I knew he was so busy on that. That's why I was like, I'm still jumping in and asking, but I just want to thank you guys so much for popping on here with us. I see all your names and all that. And thanks, OG, for answering questions. But in the future, if you've got any questions or anything for myself and Thomas, please fire away. Any comments, concerns, any opinions for upcoming shows and topics like that. We're all in. And like I said, man, you can't put it any more plainer. It's my brother's keeper, Bikers Podcast. So,
and the world is expanding. The family is expanding.
We are here. We're here. Like Thomas said, you're not alone. So please don't ever think that. So until next time, guys, man, love you. And we will see you soon.